Have we lost the game with this deck on stream tonight? All right. So in the aggro matchups, you stay alive because here's how the play pattern works, right? So like you're still, unless they're a really fast aggro deck, which is fine, you can still deal with it. But you bank your mana, and then you're like, you play a Thorny Toad, right? First of all, they have to somehow attack through Thorny Toad. But then I can copy it with Fading Memories. I can spam it at 4, right? I can just trigger it. And so I can gain life and toss there. This thing trades very well in combat. Same thing, I can spam it with Fading Memories. I can bring it back with Missed Call. I can Chronicler it and then Missed Call, and then I make 2 of them. So I have 6 points of life gain, right? And that's all at a very efficient mana cost, right? And when I draw these things late game, I don't feel bad, right? Because toss cards, when I'm spamming treasures in the deck, like Jettison says, draw 3 to 4 cards on it. Well, usually 2 to 3, right? But Jettison, once I get the spamming going with the shipwreck quarters, it like all my toss cards become draw cards too. Like it's the synergy in this deck is so stupid. Because that was a problem that the old list had, right? Like the old list, all your toss cards are dead after a certain point. Like after you've leveled Maokai and you're waiting to draw it, right? And you have your Nautilus, like your toss cards are just dead. But back to surviving aggro. Withering Wail, let's count the matchups that we care about that it doesn't do anything in, right? So it doesn't do anything against scouts, right? Because they have one X1 in the deck, and they have Ranger's Resolve. Doesn't do anything against Endure aggro. It does okay against spiders, but if you're banking the mana for it, against like the spider aggro decks, then you're dead, and the X2 spiders kill you anyway. It doesn't do anything. It damn sure doesn't do anything against pirates, right? Because pirates, like you hit their barrels, except no, you don't, because they just snap off a burn spell. It doesn't kill Misfortune. Doesn't kill the Plunder Pirate. Doesn't kill. The only thing in that deck it hits is the 2/1 that deals 1 damage when it attacks, and it's already attacked like 3 times at that point. So, and it's 100% dead in the Trundle matchups. So why, if you go to the Mobalytics website or you look at any other streamer playing deep, why are there 3 copies of Withering Wail? And the reason why, it's rhetorical. The reason why those copies of Withering Wail are in their deck is because their early game package without Withering Wail doesn't do enough to stabilize their... No, Nautilus. Okay, y'all gonna fight me on this, but Nautilus is right now. Nautilus is the worst card in the deck, but I have to run one to ensure that I don't accidentally mill myself. I have to run one. Nautilus costs 7 mana. Yes, it's a 13/13. It costs 7 mana. Chat, how many decks right now kill you before you care about that? Right? Give me 1 sec. I gotta change the music. I'm talking right now. Yeah. So Nautilus, but not Nautilus. Even in the other deck, like Nautilus, you need him because you have so many expensive cards. I just asked because you already have enough toss. Yeah. The problem is, the reason why you have to run 3 So another thing, you'll notice there are very few one ofs and two ofs in the deck, right? There are no one ofs, minus the one of Nautilus, and there's very few two ofs, right? And the reason why is because you're tossing so much stuff that in order to create consistency, the individual cards, right? Like you need enough copies for the deck to like semi do the same thing, right? Yeah, and then toss becomes draw. So, like, chat, I wish I could cut this Nautilus. Can I just make a deck and walk through the steps? One day I'll do that on stream. I'm not gonna do that today because I don't do what a lot of people. So a lot of people on stream, especially in like this game, has a very big like streaming culture, right? So they want to do everything really really fast. I've been tuning this now for about 4 or 5 days, right? A Volt 23 with the follow. Like, anybody who played paper TCGs knows that you can't just take a stack of cards that look good in 5 minutes and throw it together and get it right. And if you don't believe me, look at how bad every other deep list is performing. We haven't lost a game tonight with this list with deep on ladder. True, I'm not playing on masters, I know. But we're going to keep playing games. We're going to see how it goes, right? But that's because you have to sit down and tune things. And you can't do that while you're streaming. People are like, oh, this stack of cards goes well together. And really, they're looking at reactions and actions that they've seen in other decks or the same deck, but they change like 1 or 2 cards. And I'm like, no, like there are a lot of staples in deep that are not in this deck. And when I was talking to people a couple streams ago and I was trying to explain, I was like, no, Devour is bad. It costs 7 mana and never hits the thing you needed to hit. Because in the decks where Devour is killing something is important, a 7 cost slow removal that you can't play with spell mana never connects. Never. And it's not a hard kill. Because they just troll chant, or they damage your thing, or they bastion, or they pale cascade, or they frostbite your guy. Like, and setting it up, you end up taking a lot of bad passes. Because you can't go, okay, well, I'm gonna wait for you to spend your mana, because in those deep decks, your opponent is already so far ahead on board because their early game package is jacked up. How did I start this deck and how did it progress? So I started with the deep deck that was in the article that just came out on Deep. And the tip off, the thing that tipped me off that I needed to be doing something different was how good Fading Memory, like this card is insane in this deck. And when I realized that half the deck didn't work with the best card in the deck, like, I was like, okay, well, let's maximize synergy, right? And then let's start solving problems the deck has. And I'm gonna pull up the standard deep list, and I'm gonna show you exactly what I'm talking about. Actually, I'll pull the one from the article, because that's the one that most people are playing. So let's walk through this, right? So we already talked about why Withering Well is bad. Okay, let's talk about Atrocity is bad for the same reason. Yeah. Well, so people left when I said Withering Well was bad because their favorite streamer told them that Withering Well, you absolutely needed and have to have it, and didn't watch me win 6 games in a row with this deck. But I'm cool with that. A trot. Man, you beat me to it. You beat me to it. Yes, atrocity is bad because nihilist is bad. You really want to get blown out? You really want to get blown out? Spend 7 mana and then invest another 6 to kill your 7 mana guy into a 3 mana burst speed frostbite spell. That shit is stupid. Like, that is the dumbest. Why would I do this? And you ask yourself, well, the Trundle lists do it all the time. The Trundle lists have like 5 8+ power trample dudes in play. The atrocity just closes the game. But that deck is way better than this deck at putting big dudes on the field. Did y'all forget the times you got killed by atrocity when you thought you were winning? Yeah. And you know what? Literally all of those games, right? If I was running Frostbite, I win, right? If I'm running a kill spell, I win. And I've also played bad into, I've played really bad into some atrocities, but all the games where atrocity hasn't killed me since I started playing this list, or sorry, my other list, because I'm at 20. So they atrocity me with a 9 power dude, and I'm like, cool, I'm at 11. And then the next turn I gain on my life back. Right? So the atrocity is bad, right? Because I don't have a way to protect the thing that I'm atrocitying. Atrocity is nuts on Tryndamere, right? Because if they kill your Tryndamere in response, you're like, you at least have some some protection, but you're still not protected from Frostbite. Hey, Phantom Scourge, welcome to the chat. How you doing? So if you're just joining us, we just won a whole bunch of games with my deep list, and I have the current meta list pulled up, and I'm explaining why this list is horrible. And why you won't break 50% with it unless you're already a master's level player and you're just taking a break from whatever your main deck is. So we've covered why atrocity is bad. We've covered why Withering Well is bad. We've covered why Devourer is bad, right? The Vengeance is bad because as a one, I just never have it when I need it. 2, the Vengeance doesn't solve any of the problems the deck has, right? Because I'm going to spend 7 mana to kill what? Like, what am I killing with this? Right? Against the smaller decks, I'm already dead. Against the bigger decks, Endure. Right. Okay. And then so I tap out, and then they atrocity me in response. Oh, so they played Endure, and I don't know how many times. Yeah, I don't know how many times this has been denied. I don't know how many times this has in certain decks this card is good, but there's a reason why it's not a control staple. Well, so here's the thing. This kills Endure, right? But it doesn't matter because you're already dead. Because they pressured you out of the game with all their other stuff. Right? So if you somehow have this in your hand and you kill their 1 copy of Endure with this, right? The Withering Well doesn't save you from the pressure when they go 1 drop, when they go 1 drop, attack you for 1. Next turn, they go 1 drop, 0 drop, attack you for 7, and you're holding this Withering Well that you can play in 3 turns, this is gonna do something. It doesn't beat mine. I beat the crap out of that deck. It beats this deck hard. This deck can't do anything about it. And Withering Well doesn't do anything against that deck, chat. Like, what do you mean Withering Well doesn't do anything against that deck? Okay, so you killed the 1/1 spiders, and then they still have Elise, the 3/2 Fearsome, the Skittering Horror. They still have 3 copies of Decimate. Like, this doesn't solve the problem. It gains you 3 life 1 time for 5 mana. It kills the 4/1 bird. That's fine. It kills the 4/1 bird and it gains me 3 life 1 time. You need to be able to create a board presence that's constantly gaining life. Like, y'all, so for those of you in chat who watched the games I was playing earlier, how much life did I gain? Like, there were games where I gained 25 life. Because hey, what's up, Mike Waves? See, I'm trying to put on my serious face and then people make me happy. What's good? Welcome to the chat, man. Welcome to the channel. Welcome to the stream. Hey, hope you're having a great one, man. Hey, thank you for choosing to spend a part of your Friday here with us, man. I really do appreciate it. So this doesn't actually solve your problem because it's too expensive and you need to be able to gain way more than 3 life because you're going to take damage and you're going to take some big chunks of damage, right? So I'm right now I'm sitting in Plat 4. Tonight we have not lost a game with my deep list, right? I'm explaining why this deep list is bad and why everybody running this deck doesn't take deep seriously. So right, it's like, so like then you have to start playing a whole bunch of other stuff that doesn't help you, right? Like Whale doesn't solve my problem. You know what solves my problem? Making 2 Maokais and attacking with 2 Challenger units every turn and killing all their X2s. Like, that solves my problem. So every other sea monster is bad in your opening hand, right? Like, if you draw them before turn 6 or 7, they're very, very bad, right? And then the Jaw Hunters is good. Debloom's good. The problem is that you don't have enough good early game dudes, so you start putting things into your early game slot to try and fill the gaps, right? Hired Gun is, yeah, I'm gonna say this, bad in this deck because yes, it kills an X2, right? But it doesn't like permanently solve any problems the deck has. And if you draw it after the early phase of the game, it's bad. It's bad in the I can't revise Nightfall. Nick Mays plays killed it. His Nightfall list is like, I don't even know, like, it's the most, Nick Mays plays list is so good, right? Like, nah, that's, I won't, I'll play it, but I can't tune that any further. I have some ideas for like some memes, but I'd probably just be making the deck worse. So I tested Twisted Fate. So the need to sweep. So let's go through what Twisted Fate does, right? So I draw cards with toss, right? So I don't need to draw a whole bunch of cards late. Killing things with red card is cool, but again, your problem isn't X1s, your problem is X2s, right? If I can gain enough life consistently, then, hey, what do you know? 22 viewers. Well, hey, welcome everybody. If I can gain enough life consistently, right? Like if I trade for one thing gain 3 life. I also toss 3 cards that turn, right? And then I revive it, toss another 3 cards. It's gonna trade with the next thing. I'm gonna gain 3 life. I'm not under as much pressure to like sweep everything at once. And then gold card. Gold card is very interesting, right? But it doesn't permanently kill the thing. And then like if he's on curve, if he's on 4, the things he's gold carding, I could kill in trades. If it's later than that, I need to be playing a ridiculous deep monster. But against the aggro decks, like I would much rather Maokai with a miscall up. If they kill the Maokai, I revive the Maokai. Thank you for the free level trigger. Next turn, play a Dork, Challenger, kill your thing, right? And now I've established a board presence, right? If I play TF, then I gold card, kill 1 X2. He's a single 2/2 that like they just kill, that can't block anything. Yeah, I mean, this is definitely closer to the legacy list of Deep Blue Sea. I call it like right now I'm calling it Deep Value. Max said it functions more like a combo deck. So I don't know what I'm gonna call it, but it's better than this. Slaughter Docs is fine. But the author of this article, when this person put Fading Memories into the deck, they killed it. That's the thing I need to give the author credit for. Because when I saw it, I was like, wait, I can make this stupid. And then like the one-ofs, but here's my finishing statement on this deck, and then we can move on. Look at the curve in this deck. This is the best curve I've seen in a deep deck in a while, right? But look at how many 6 and 7 drops you have. This is a 40 card game, and over 25% of your deck costs more than 6. And it's like, why does Deep keep losing to aggro? Like, look at the curve. That's why it keeps losing to aggro. Like, I know a lot of y'all don't know where that curve tool is when you build decks. Y'all should check it. Coming from Magic, I'm like, curves matter. All right, I'm off my soapbox. Watch, I just did that big long spiel, and I'm gonna lose my like first game for the night. Phantom, I don't know if you've added me yet, but here's my info. Go ahead and add me.